What's up, party people in the house? It's time for Dynasty War Games. No countdown tonight. I don't know what it is when I do this that we don't get the countdown, but we are here. I am your host tonight. I'm excited for the holiday weekend. I'm excited to talk some fantasy football with my boys. And most of all, I'm excited to play a game. It's Dynasty War Games. I'm here with my main man, Mike Casper. What's up,
What's
Mike?
up? Hey, I'm the main man. I like it. Let's keep that going.
Right on. Also here with my other main man, Chad Mendoza. What's up, homie?
Oh, nothing much, man.
We're keeping it 90s. I listened to we had a good day at work, so I had a little dance party music going for the crew when they were closing.
Oh, I was like, what? Like you had a good day at work, so y'all had a dance party?
Yeah, a little bit. I played Whoop There It Is, Who Let the Dogs Out, Livin' La Vida Loca, and Slam by Onyx. And then they cleaned up pretty quick, and then we were done.
Jesse is Michael Scott in real life.
It was a blast. I really just did it to mess with them. Anyway, so we're here. We're talking Dynasty, and we're gonna play a game.
Let's do it.
Yeah, Chad had an idea for a game tonight. Little does he know. Well, his mistake was turning it over to me, right, and letting me run the game because I mean, it's gonna be one of the classic subjective games. So. Chad and Mike are very competitive, and they're going to go at each other. But the real purpose here is to just get some discussion going on some of these players, and maybe figure out some things that we haven't talked about in the past. We're getting up to the wire, down to the wire. I guess is the expression. We're getting down to the wire. Yeah, we got less than 2 weeks, so let's try to focus in on these guys and get a little more info than we've gotten in the past. Right?
I'm ready, man. Let's do it.
Cool. We're going to do Yearbook Awards. All right, everybody remembers when they were in high school, their senior yearbook, you had awards like Class Clown, Class Flirt, Most Likely to Succeed, that kind of thing. Right. So those are all on our list as well as some others.
Just so you know, mine was nicest guy, and everyone thought I was going to be a pilot in the Air Force.
Really?
Yeah. So
okay, that was pretty close. Did you are you from a military family?
I mean, my brothers are, but not too much out of that. We got a couple of distant relatives. Yeah.
Was there something? It was just kind of like you seemed like you were going to be in the military.
Yeah, I don't know. It seemed like I was going to fly, I guess, maybe back then, but
right on.
I never really wanted to.
Did you just love Top Gun?
No, not necessarily. I mean, I liked it a lot.
Wore leather jackets to school.
Bomber jacket every day.
I mean, I'm don't get me wrong. Like, I'm ready for the new Maverick movie in a month or two.
Right on.
I'm ready for that. But
yeah, that does look like fun.
That was funny.
All right, cool. So we're going to do Yearbook Awards. We're going to go back and forth. Now, like I said, these are subjective. It's just kind of what I came up with for each one of these. And it's like really, it's about their play style and what we know about them. I don't know them personally. Let's not try to pretend I know their personalities and this is about their person. It's not. Okay, it's what we know about them. It's videos that we've seen of them, it's film that I've watched, games that you guys have watched because you guys watch a lot of college, and
or we may just guess.
Yeah, right. So,
all right, I feel like I might do a lot of guessing. I don't know.
All right, let's do this. So the first person to guess my baseball number in college gets to go first.
8.
You strike me as like a high number. I'm going to go 82.
All right, I'll give you a hint. I'm a Philly fan, right? So my favorite player is definitely a Philadelphia Philly, probably the greatest Philly of all time, and it was his number.
13.
Nope.
Let's go 32.
All right.
Now I'm gonna Google.
It's okay. Yeah. Can we start Googling? It's between. All right, I'll say it's an even number between 10 and 30.
Between 10 and 30.
On the next guess, let's just go closest to the number.
Okay, cool.
Even number. I'm gonna say 16.
All right, that's incorrect.
I'm gonna say 27.
Chad goes first. The answer is 20. Mike Schmidt.
Okay. I was actually looking at Schmidt, but I couldn't find his number.
Okay, nice.
So I was at least looking at the right person.
Philly players from the 40s.
70s and 80s. All right, so Mike goes first.
No, Chad goes first. He won. He said.
Oh, Chad goes. Well, I was going to let Mike go
Well,
first.
I picked
Chad,
Mike to go first.
because Chad just didn't.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Well, all right, real quick before we get started, what are you drinking, Chad?
Drinking a Carbach Love Street. It's a Texas brewery.
Oh, okay, nice. What kind of beer is it?
It's a blonde. It's pretty good.
All right. I am drinking Corona Hard Seltzer, new flavor called Mango Starfruit.
Nice. Sounds very sweet.
Yeah, a little bit. I'm gonna switch to Truly here. Their citrus is pretty dry. What do you?
But not as sweet as my white gummy bear rain.
Whoa, whoa! That's an energy drink.
It's the favorite of the my colonel that I work for. So it's one of his favorites. Whenever he's in a bad mood, I just offer him a white gummy bear rain because they're hard to find and makes his day.
Wow, that is a really weird thing. That is a 2022 thing to offer your superior officer.
Yeah, I know. He's like probably 20 years older than me too, but he loves them. He's a
30 years ago. It would have been a shot of Macallan whiskey. You know.
Yeah, I'm sure he's got that in his office too.
Yeah, right on. All right, so the first category, Chad, is going to be who's our prom king, the most popular player of this class. All right, and I'm sorry, before you answer, the way the scoring is going to work is you get a point for each answer. If the person who's asked doesn't get it, the second person gets a chance to steal.
Okay. I'm going to go with a guy that I don't think as highly of as most people do. I think that the Dynasty community is very high on this guy. And I feel like he'd be wearing the crown at the end of the night. So I'm going to go Traylon Burks.
Traylon Burks. That is incorrect. Mike, who is the most popular player in this class? Who's our prom king?
I mean, I felt like this is kind of a softball, but I'm going to say Breece Hall because he's the consensus 101, even in Superflex almost at this point, I feel like. So
correct.
He's liked by many.
So that's so easy.
We started off with an easy one.
Thanks for that, Chad.
Started off with
put some thought into my answer. I thought we were putting some effort into this game, but
we are.
Burks
oh, we are.
Like,
there's some fun stuff.
I don't know any people that really have him in their top, even 3 most of the time, at wide receiver, even.
So Mike Kinney's in chat. He says, "How do I do that?"
Mine was worst car.
There it is. Mine was worst car, 78 poop brown Dodge Ram, and best eyes. Because look at me, Dave.
Is that like classism? I feel like that wouldn't fly today. Like, let's just pick on the poor kid.
Worst car. Dude, mine was called I call it the swagger wagon. It was my mom's Toyota little station wagon she had back in the early 90s.
Nice. Don't worry, my aunt had a one of the like those Toyota Yaris's that you could barely get into.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and so I drove that to high school for like a year and
everything. No.
So, yeah.
Well,
I don't know what's up. I don't know what's up, Jesse, but that comment is ginormous, and you can only see half my face.
I can't see your face Mike anymore. Off the screen. Yeah,
there we go.
Anything we could do to get rid of that bottom screen.
Is it?
That's good. It's gone.
Oh, okay, there we go. So mine was actually a Suzuki Samurai. So do you guys remember
those? Oh, nice. Yeah,
those little teeny tiny Jeeps. I'll tell you what. I mean, people made fun of it, and I did tip it over. By the way, that was very easy to do, and I did do that. But man, you had to lock the hubs to put it in the 4-wheel drive, but it would go over anything because it was so light. It would just kind of go over the top of anything.
That's awesome.
Yeah, right on. So 1 point to Mike, and Mike gets the answer first to the next question. We're going to get a little more serious, and we are going to bring out the Humanitarian Award. So who is the greatest humanitarian in this class?
The Humanitarian Award. So I'm actually going to go off of recent events that I saw on Twitter, which
God.
was funny. I don't know the whole story. Chad already knows. It's Isaiah Spiller. He was visiting the Bills, I think it was. And what did he help? He helped someone out with something on the street. I don't know if it was getting gas in their car or paying for their groceries or what the story was, but then he got a shout out on Twitter and he was like, "Oh, that's just how I was raised." And he's a good old Texas boy, right? Just being a nice little gentleman. So I'm going to go Isaiah Spiller.
Okay, that is a nice story. It's incorrect, but it was a nice story.
I figured. I just wanted to
I'm gonna pick the guy that Isaiah Spiller copied. And that's Malik Willis, because Malik Willis helped the the person, the homeless, what is it? Was it a woman?
I think it was a woman, yeah.
I believe it was a woman, yeah. The homeless woman that was near the combine and gave her some stuff out of his luggage and everything. Anyways, really nice gesture. And Isaiah Spiller was like, "Good idea." Guess what I'm gonna do on my visit? No, I'm just kidding. I assume that was well intentioned. So
yeah, and obviously Malik Willis didn't know he was being videoed unless it was some huge setup, which I don't think that happened. So
no.
Yeah, I mean, what it says to me about the player is that he's a good guy. He's not a dick who really, he's not Jay Cutler. You know what I mean? So
Jay Cutler probably would have shared a cigarette with someone.
You're probably right. But it does count for something, for to actually know that he's a good person. If I were running a football team, I'd want to know that the guys playing for me were good people. I probably wouldn't have a Richie Incognito on my team. You know what I mean?
Can he block?
I'll find other guys that can block. I don't need that culture in my locker room.
Yeah.
All right. Tied up.
All right, so we're all tied up 1-1.
All right.
All right, so we're gonna move to a more fun one, and we're gonna go to class clown. Chad, you're next. Who's the class clown?
Okay. Oh man, this one's tough.
And this is going by what we know. This is going by what we know of him, what we've talked about in past podcasts.
I don't know. Chris Olave.
Incorrect.
Yeah, I figured.
It doesn't seem like you even have a reason. You were just throwing a name out there.
No, he's just a person in the draft.
Right on. Mike, you have any deep thought on this for us?
Not really, because I'm trying to think of someone who's maybe kind of a showboaty kind of,
I almost just picked a terrible player because,
but no,
I almost went that direction.
Yeah.
It's not Carson Strong. It was almost Carson Strong.
Is there anyone walking around with half shirt, Zeke type of suits and stuff?
I don't know enough about guys to know that.
Yeah.
Oh, golly.
Pick a guy with a funny name.
I'm gonna go Desmond Ritter.
Nah. All right. So I'm not even gonna roll this back to Chad because it doesn't seem like you guys had any idea.
No. Naming prospects. Randomly.
Yeah. So and I want there to be a reason behind it if you get it. So the answer is George Pickens. All right. So kind of a little lazy, goofs off during his routes, got called out by the head coach. The teacher called him out in class, for being lazy. And normally
it should have been Pickett for his small clown hands.
This is tiny clown hands. Wow. Oh man, I'm so tempted to give you a point for that.
No.
If it wouldn't make Mike cry, I would absolutely give you a point for that. And also the class clown is often the most talented person in the class, right? It's the person that's bored and is a good entertainer and is talented. And that's how I see George Pickens, one of the most talented players in this draft, just not focused, is what my teachers used to say about me.
Fair enough.
Very talented individual, not focused.
Okay.
All right.
I hear it.
No argument.
All right. So let's go to a little more tangible, and then we can get a little dynasty talk about this player as well. Most likely to succeed, Mike.
Most likely to succeed.
I mean, this one speaks for itself. It's kind of a floor. Who's got the best floor?
I'm going to go with Garrett Wilson.
Ding.
Boom, baby.
Good answer.
Yeah, I just feel like he's probably got the highest floor of a lot of the wide receivers. Might not have the highest ceiling, but I think he has a great shot to be a really, really good prospect.
Yeah. I agree. I think he's got the floor. He's got the highest floor of any of these players outside of maybe Olave, and I had them neck and neck, but I found another category that I liked for Olave, so he's coming up at some point.
Boom.
All right. So scores 2-1. Mike's in the lead. Chad, you go first in the next one. Actually, do you want to talk about Garrett Wilson a little bit first before we move on to the next? Do you agree with that?
Sure.
That he's most likely to succeed?
No, I would go with Breece Hall.
Okay, okay. So let's exclude players that we've already given awards to outside of those.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because I didn't want to repeat.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Breece Hall could be a lot of these.
Well, let's just talk. I know there's a lot of talk, right? The Jets have 2 top 10 picks.
Yeah.
And a lot of people think they're going to be the one to possibly take the first wide receiver off the board. How does that make you guys feel? Does that make you feel nervous? Whereas, you got the Kansas City and the Green Bays and some of the other, teams with great quarterbacks picking later. Do you think even if Garrett Wilson went to somewhere like the Jets, but
I'm not even sold that Garrett. I mean, I think he will be, but I don't think it's an open book. Open and closed book case that Garrett Wilson's going to be the first wide receiver off the board. We keep hearing these guys that in touch with the NFL process that Drake London's looking like a guy that could be picked first. So, and I think if the Jets are picking a wide receiver, I'm guessing that they would pick a Drake London kind of player because he's just so different from what they have.
Yeah.
But maybe they go Garrett Wilson. I mean, I guess it just depends,
Yeah. Okay. Right on.
You think they wouldn't be the first fantasy wide receiver pick though, if that happens? Like if the first wide receiver, no matter who it is, goes
I don't think
Jets,
the first.
do you think it drops?
I think it drops them for sure. Just because everybody's so iffy on Zach Wilson, and I know there are some people that really like Zach Wilson, and I think that kind of for those people, maybe it's one of those things where they're excited about it and they kind of move up to get him or hope he slides to them, whether that is Drake London or Garrett Wilson. But I mean, I wouldn't be stoked if Garrett Wilson ends up going to the Jets, but I think it's better than the Browns. So
really, neither one of them scares me. I didn't think Minnesota was a good landing spot for Justin Jefferson. I didn't think Tennessee was a good landing spot for AJ Brown.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't think either of these guys are Justin Jefferson and I mean they could be because most people didn't think
Agreed.
Justin Jefferson was Justin Jefferson, but it's hard to assume that anybody is Justin Jefferson or AJ Brown.
Okay, yeah, I'm not saying agreed, but I'm just saying that the landing spot didn't really seem to matter much for those guys. The talent's there. I mean, I don't think. I didn't think the Jets were a good landing spot for Elijah Moore. But I have some Elijah Moore, and I'm not trading him. You know what I mean?
But I mean, his value is also. I mean, it hasn't risen since.
Sure. I mean, he was a high sec, and I would not trade him for. I would not.
But
trade him
right after the draft process, he was going for a first, like during mini camps and stuff.
Yeah,
it hasn't fallen from there.
Right.
So I mean, it's one of those things that people still love him because of the idea of him, but if he doesn't produce this year, his value is going to tank.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's one of those things. Like it's easy to say that Elijah Moore's value is high, but I mean he's going to have to produce this year.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I think it's a really good chance that he does. I like him. I'm still pretty high on him. I like the talent, and I don't love Zach Wilson, but I do think that he I think he's a lot better than he showed early in the year. And
yeah,
absolutely could turn out to be an average quarterback, and that's really all you need if the wide receiver is that talented. Follow what I mean?
yeah.
I mean,
I think Elijah. See, we shouldn't even be talking about Elijah Moore, but yeah. I mean, I think if somebody's opposite of Elijah Moore, one of these high end rookie prospects at wide receiver, I'm gonna be scared for that guy and for Elijah Moore, because then you're banking on Zach Wilson making the jump. You're saying he's going to have to make the jump for both of them to be productive.
It's a good point.
If not, then you're going to have to pick and choose, like, okay, which guy am I going with? Or maybe none, maybe neither of them,
Right.
So I don't know. It just scares me a little bit.
Yeah, I hear you. I honestly, I think what scares me even more is the Eagles as a landing spot. It's probably at least for this coming season, is probably the worst landing spot you can get. I mean, the coaching is good. The wide receiver coaching is good there. So I could see the player developing and we don't know who the quarterback will be in 2023. Right. We're not even sure that the coaching staff will still be there. So, but for this year, I mean, signs are all pointing to the Eagles taking a wide receiver in the first round. So it's not going to be great for Devontae Smith, and it's not going to be great for whoever that wide receiver is.
Let me ask you guys a question on your opinion on this, because I know people will be thinking, like, because I included the Browns with that, even though Deshaun Watson is there now and Baker's gone. But do you guys see the offense changing, and kind of making a complete 180 and it being a passing offense? Because I still don't see it.
No, Stefanski's got his he's got his idea of how to run an offense, and I could see there being more passing, and if they're in a position where they're down and they need the pass to catch up, they may be in a position that they can actually do that where they couldn't before. But no, it's still going to be run first.
Yeah, maybe some shootouts with the Bengals, but besides that.
But I mean, the Vikings are also run first. And Kirk Cousins supports two wide receivers, not just Justin Jefferson. I mean, Adam Thielen is a fantasy starter.
Yeah, but I mean, you're talking about two completely different. I mean, the Vikings maybe pass first, but Baker was throwing like 20 something passes a game. Like it was very low.
Yeah, I think that had to do a lot with Baker.
Yeah,
what I'm saying is,
too, I think
the volume will go up, but they're not going to be, like you said, it's not going to be a 180. They're not going to be a passing offense.
It would just scare me thinking, that Amari Cooper, they brought in, they're paying him, and he's already doing this, and we know he's already a really good wide receiver. He's going to demand production on his end. So if you have another high-end wide receiver coming in, is the offense going to be enough? Is there going to be enough volume there and enough efficiency, right? We're just going to assume that they're going to be very efficient with Deshaun Watson in there in their passing game, that second wide receiver is able to get enough targets to maintain fantasy relevancy past that initial season.
Yeah, you have to be skeptical of that. Absolutely. Although, I mean, and I will also throw in that it could be an absolute mess in the beginning. Watson hasn't played in quite a while. It's a new offense for him. It might not look real pretty in the beginning, so it might take some time as well. On top of all the things that you're saying. So, yeah, I don't love Brown's wide receivers, but I don't like them. I mean, I don't dislike them as much as I did last year.
Brian Ford says, have I missed most likely to go to prison?
Was that in your yearbook, Brian? Because I missed that one.
Yeah. Was that you, Brian?
What's funny is I actually did think of putting that in there, but then I didn't want to. I don't know anything about these guys, so I didn't want to speculate.
Yeah, no, I don't.
I don't want to put somebody down.
I wouldn't touch that.
But it's funny because I did think about it for a second, and I was like, I don't want to slander someone.
Let's avoid that.
Yeah. Right on. Okay, so
all right, next one.
That was Class Clown. Oh no, I was most likely to succeed.
Most likely to succeed.
And Mike, you got that one too, right? So
I did.
So is that your
2 to
third
1.
point? 2-1. Oh, we already
2
said
to 1,
that.
I think.
All right, 2-1. All right, Chad. Who is the class flirt? I'm just gonna take a little deep thought, but there is reasoning behind it.
The class flirt.
If you guys don't
Okay.
get it in the first round, I'll give you a hint, and it'll roll back to Chad.
I'm between two people for this, so
I'm gonna say oof. I don't know. I'm gonna say Chris Olave.
Chris Olave, class flirt. All right, that's incorrect, but I did think about that because he teases you with his roots a little bit. He's really smooth kind of guy. I thought about that,
Yeah, try.
but that
try
is
to,
incorrect.
play. Yeah.
All right,
well,
Mike.
that wasn't one of my two, but I'm gonna go with Desmond Ritter. I think because he's flirting with the first round capital. He's got the wheels, looks sexy and nice. You know, small school guy. So
I mean, that's good, and you're sort of along the
He's
right.
like, I think it's Desmond Ritter because he's sexy and nice.
No, that's not what I said.
I think he's cute.
I did.
Poster up on my wall.
I threw stuff in there before I said sexy and nice. I said because he's going in the first round. He's like he's getting a lot of inside buzz that teams actually like him, right? Like they like him, like they're
because he's so sexy.
Writing notes to each other. Chad, jeez, you weirdo! I'm trying to play the game.
All right, well, it's good reasoning, and you're on the right path, but it's incorrect. So here's the hint before I throw it back to Chad. Think about the market. It's more about the market and how it's fluctuated.
Okay. I'm gonna say Jahan Dotson.
No. Did you have a reason behind that?
Yeah, just because he's so he's been projected to so many different teams in so many different areas.
Oh, okay.
I think he's kind of flirting with everybody.
Okay. Mike, you got a second guess? This is it. We're not going to take another guess.
I mean, I was gonna say, I'm just gonna stick with it, even though I don't even know if it's about the market. But I was just gonna say Walker, just because it was the 1 year of production, right? So that's kind of like the quick flirt, right? Show you what I did. Now come and get me.
Interesting. No points awarded. We're all now dumber for having listened to you both. No, I'm kidding.
Was it London?
No, it's Matt Corral. It's Matt Corral
okay.
because coming out of the season, he was flirting with top 10 overall pick. He was the number 1 quarterback. Everyone was like Matt Corral. He was the number 1 dynasty pick, coming out of the season, and then the injury and didn't perform at the combine, and his stock has fallen quite a bit. So I felt like he was flirting with us in the beginning and then sort of kind of fell out.
Nice.
He wasn't serious.
Okay.
So anyway, the reason behind that is I wanted to talk about Matt Corral because I don't feel like we've talked about him a lot. I think we've glossed over it a little bit. What's the reason, Chad? Let me ask you, what is the reason that he was projected as possibly the number 1 dynasty pick and the first quarterback out of the draft coming out of the college season and isn't now? What happened between then and now?
Well, I think you saw certain quarterbacks emerge, and you saw just him have a regressed, last year, where he lost some guys in his offense, and it affected him greater than most people thought it would, and I think that just scares a lot of people.
Okay,
and the fact that he seems to be a system. A quarterback that's tied to a system, and so that kind of pushes him down a little bit as well. So it's just one of those things. There's so many different factors where you say, okay, we saw from this guy that he can do it, and he can be very productive in an offense with a lot of talented players. But then you look at guys like Malik Willis, who, maybe they didn't have the super standout season on tape that Corral gave you the year before, but he's doing it with nobody, and Corral couldn't.
Right.
So, and saying nobody's a stretch because he still had NFL caliber players. Malik Willis had no NFL caliber players,
right,
and was still able to produce. So I don't know. It scares me, and I think it scares a lot of NFL teams.
Okay, right on. What do you have any thoughts on this, Mike?
Not really. I feel like, he kind of led Ole Miss out of obscurity, kind of, so to speak. I felt like he's a pretty big hype guy and had the look of a leader kind of when he was on TV, hyping his guys up and, getting them to rah around him and stuff, and had some really good games. So, and he's got some dual threat ability, right? So that's what they wanted, I think. But the injury is, what hurts and stuff, and not being able to see that. But I mean, he's still going out and doing lots of visits with lots of teams, like the Steelers and I think it said even the Eagles. I was reading up on.
Really, I didn't see that. The Eagles. That's surprising to me.
The Panthers and handful of other folks. Yeah, it says Panthers, Eagles, Saints, Steelers, and Falcons.
Yeah, that's all the quarterbacks.
So,
yeah,
right. So,
well, all right. So I got you. So my take on it is that coming out of the season, it was the dynasty and the fantasy community that were saying these things about Matt Corral being the number one quarterback in the draft. And it wasn't really the NFL community saying that. And when he had the injury and didn't perform at the combine, I think it led a lot of us to go back and look at him and say, well, why did we, now that we don't have measurables, why were we saying this about him? And people went back and looked at him a little closer, and that's when he's a system quarterback kind of trope started coming out there, which I do kind of agree with, by the way. I don't agree that he's definitely a system quarterback, but I do agree that that's what he was in college. So it's kind of hard to project otherwise. Who knows what NFL teams are, NFL teams do their own evaluations. They don't care what we think or what the fantasy community thinks or what any of the analysts think at all, any of the talking heads. So I don't think that I don't think he was high on NFL boards and then fell out of favor. I think maybe we're just learning what they already knew.
Well, I think it depends on what you're talking about. So if you're talking about strictly this offseason, that's correct. But I think if you look back
that's
to
what I am.
Last year, then he was looked at as, one of the top, if not the top prospect in this current draft pool. It's just that guys like Desmond Ritter and Malik Willis came out of nowhere this past year.
I'm talking about this offseason.
Yeah.
For sure. All right, cool. So, I definitely think Matt Corral still has a good chance of going in the first round.
Yeah.
If that happens, scoop him up late in the first, early second, if you can get him, in your dynasty drafts. All right. Who went first last time? I think Chad went first. Yeah, he did. All right. So we're going to go with probably the toughest category here. And this is very much football rooted. This is not about the market. I'm going to tell you that right up front, both of you guys. Most unique. All right. So in high school, it'd be most unique person. For our purposes, is most unique player.
It's my turn, right?
Yeah, it is. Mm-hmm.
All right. For most unique, I'm gonna go Treylon Burks.
Okay.
Just because of his size and, I'm basically just gonna go with his size. I guess I'm kind of thinking market because I'm thinking compared to everyone else.
Yeah, I had him down, and then I had him down first, and then I crossed him out because I realized that there are a lot of players his size at his position in the NFL, and that have better
draft class. This is the rookie
that have
game.
better measurables. I'm just saying, I just feel like there are he's compared to Debo and AJ Brown or whatever, but he's not close to those guys. So that's what dropped me out of this. That dropped him out of this, and I went with a different player altogether.
No worries.
Chad, what do you think?
I'm gonna go Christian Watson.
That was gonna be my second guess.
Okay, really good guess.
A guy with his size, and he's running 4.36s and jumping. Has a broad jump. Higher than anybody else or longer than anybody else in the combine. Just very, very, very athletic, and also comes from a small school in North Dakota State. So maybe not projected as high as if you went to Alabama or Oklahoma or anywhere like that. So,
yeah, great answer, and the score is now tied. Good job, Chad.
Dang it! Yeah, that was gonna be my second guess.
Yeah, so Christian Watson is kind of like, he's the size speed freak in this class. So, set by Chad or Mike, not for any points, but do you have a guess at another wide receiver that I might have had like neck and neck with him?
With Watson?
Yeah, or Chad, if either of you guys want to throw it out there, because there's another size speed freak at wide receiver that I almost put in here.
Freak?
Not freak, but better measurables than the rest of the guys in the class, making him more unique.
I'm not going to embarrass myself and guess.
Not quite Christian Watson level.
I don't know. Maybe. I was going to say maybe George Pickens, but we already picked him.
Right.
Earlier.
No, I'm not going to let you suffer. It was Alec Pierce.
Alec Pierce, of course. Yeah.
So he was the other guy that I was thinking. It was either Watson or Pierce. I think Pierce is a little more obscure, which would have been cool for this list, but the way Christian Watson tested, man, I just couldn't deny it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
To me,
Alec Pierce.
Yeah, go ahead.
Alec Pierce is one of those guys that we may see go a little bit earlier than people are anticipating, especially in the dynasty community, and his draft stock just, as far as his dynasty draft stock, kind of soars because, the potential and the kind of player that he is, I think people are just nervous because you didn't see that elite athleticism, watching him as much as you saw it when he was in shorts.
Right.
So, you saw it, but you just didn't see that, he tested crazy for his size.
Right. Yeah. It's kind of a little bit the same as Christian Watson. Well, you saw the athleticism out of Christian Watson, but super raw.
Yeah.
Both those guys, if those guys go second round, they're going to soar up dynasty draft boards. They're going to stack up at the top of the second round.
For sure.
You might even see either one of them sneak into the late first. If there's guys in your league that just love them. You know what I mean? But yeah, I love Alec Pierce. I love Christian Watson. I'd love to have either one of them on the Eagles. I'm hoping that one of those guys falls to the third and we scoop at one of them. Alec Pierce, I think, is exactly what most offenses need. If you can train him up, a guy that's 6'2" that runs like that, good hands, really like him. All right, so score is tied, and we are going back to Chad. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, recap. Let's do a little recap. First, we had our prom king was Breece Hall. He's the most popular. He's definitely the 101 in most drafts as of right now. The humanitarian was Malik Willis. We saw him give his swag bag to a homeless woman. We know he's a good person anyway. Class clown was George Pickens because he dogs his roots, got called out by his teacher. Class flirt was Matt Corral for making us think he was the best quarterback in this class and then kind of fading away. Most likely to succeed was Garrett Wilson. Mike and I agree on that. Chad does not. And then most unique was Christian Watson. Honorable mention to Alec Pierce. All right. So, Mike, I think it's back to you, isn't it? No, it's Chad.
No.
Because Chad got it. Yeah, Chad got the steal on that one. All right, Chad. Next category is best celebrity lookalike. So I'm going to need the player, the rookie player, and who he looks like.
Oh, God.
I honestly don't even know what most of these guys look like.
Don't overthink. My hint here for you guys is don't overthink it. There's like a comp that everybody's been making all year, all off season. Probably before that, but I don't pay attention to college. So
is this based on their looks or based on their play?
Based on their looks.
I have no idea. I have no idea.
I even said it on the podcast.
I don't listen to you most of the time.
Not this podcast, though, right?
Yeah, this podcast.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. We just kind of tune you out for most of the show.
Yeah, I understand that. I understand that. Ben Simmons hadn't even been traded yet. I was insufferable.
Oh, gosh, yeah. And Tua hadn't gotten Tyreek yet, so, you know.
First playoff games tomorrow night, by the way.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's as a famous person they look like, not another NFL player? Or?
If it was based on the play.
Well, NFL players are famous.
So if it was based on the play, I was going to say, you know, the comp that everybody's been making is Drake London, Mike Evans.
Okay, so I mean, that's good, but I actually don't even agree with that. So I've told you straight up on this podcast that I think George Pickens is more like Mike Evans.
But yeah, go ahead, Mike, because I have no idea. We're just going to waste time with this.
I'm going to guess Kenny Pickett, who looks like Mac Jones.
So I'll give you one more chance, Chad. I'm going to give you a hint. I actually said on the podcast, oh, wow, his ESPN picture even looks like this guy. And it is another NFL quarterback.
Oh, now you've narrowed it down to quarterbacks. There's only a couple more to choose from.
I don't know what any of them look like. Malik Willis, Michael Vick. I don't know.
Mike, one last guess. You're going to kick yourself when you hear this, Chad.
I mean, is it Sam Howell, Baker Mayfield?
Boom. There's the point.
Okay.
Mike is researching on the internet.
I'm literally... No, I have a name of rookies on this list here, so I actually don't sound stupid when I answer these questions.
Okay. I know Mike is doing his research.
It's little pictures like this big.
It's okay. Mike
literally said it.
The light bulb just came up, and he just suddenly got the comparison.
I literally said it on the podcast.
I almost said Ritter, Trey Lance, but I didn't even remember Jesse saying that. So,
but
then I looked at Hal, and I was like, he's kind of got the dirty beard.
Well, we talked about how it was a lazy comp just because they looked like each other.
I don't even watch their college press conferences, so I wouldn't know these guys if I was walking down the street. So I'd be like,
all right. So, but let's talk about how
that guy's really large.
Let's talk about Sam Howell. I think this is another guy that we haven't talked about enough. What do you think his chances of becoming an average NFL starter are, Mike?
I mean, man, I don't know. It's just
you're
so
an
hard.
expert on a fantasy analyst and a fantasy analyst. We're breaking this down, man. You gotta have an opinion.
Well, he hasn't. In Mike's defense, he hasn't been drafted yet.
Yeah, I was gonna say if he was drafted, then maybe I'd have kind of a better outcome for him. But I mean,
Have you watched him in college at all?
A little bit.
Yeah, but
I know he was a consensus top quarterback with Rattler right before the college season started. They're like, oh, right. Sam Howell and Spencer Rattler, right? And then it's like, right. So,
all right, cool.
And then everybody says his weapons left in Dynamic Brown and Javonte Williams, and so that's why the play went down because he didn't have anyone else around him. But hey, if you're still that good, you're supposed to bring your team up and stuff, right? So. Just from what I've heard he's pretty, reckless. I mean, his best comparable on here is Sam Darnold, which that kind of doesn't shock me to a degree either. But man, I don't know. It really depends. I really want to see how committed these teams are to him, and seeing that commitment is where they're willing to take him. If someone takes him in the top 15, that has me pretty interested. if they take him in the second round, then I'm not as interested.
Not as interested, but
still
a really good late second round dynasty pick.
Yeah, that's where Hurts was, right? So,
right.
Like we talked about last episode. So you never know, but I don't know. I really can't project until I know where they go and how committed.
All right, so to him. Chad, tell me why he fell this season. Was it the weapons or is it something else?
Yeah, maybe it's the weapons, but you just expect him to still be able to produce without them. At least be impressive yourself. You want a guy that's going to be able to carry a college offense at least some games during the course of the season. Maybe not against teams like Alabama and some of the better defenses in the SEC, but you still want to see.
I'm sorry, go on.
You still just want to see a guy that is, the truck pulling the trailer. That he's right. He's elevating everybody around him, and Sam Howell just didn't show that he's that guy after Javonte Williams left and some of the other players.
So I get it, and my kind of take is that he started running a lot more. That's how I saw it. That I don't know if that's a good thing or not, because I don't see him as. He's got good athleticism, but I don't see him as a running quarterback in the NFL. So I'm not sure that that's going to be a good option for him if things break down. So is that a good thing or a bad thing that when he lost weapons, he took more on himself by using his legs?
It's a bad thing because he's not. And it goes for a lot of
not progressing as a quarterback. Right?
They're not making multiple reads. They're not going down the field and progressing down their reads. They're just saying, okay, this is not picture perfect. I need to go and make something happen.
Yeah.
He went down in yardage every year. He went down in, completion percentage considerably his last.
Honestly, like you said, kind of like Sam Darnold.
Yeah,
kind of like Sam Darnold, right?
Yeah. So.
All right, cool. So who knows? Maybe it could be a steal late in your dynasty drafts, or maybe it just could be a bust.
And I think so. The question that you asked Mike was the percentage that he becomes a average NFL starter, right? And I think that's at this point nearly impossible to know, because that percentage is going to decrease once he doesn't go in the first round, right? Like if he doesn't go in the first round, that percentage drops drastically.
Yeah,
because that means
a real shot.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Yeah,
which is looking kind of likely right now. It's looking like he might not go in the first because Desmond Ritter is getting pushed up.
Right. Yeah, it does look like Ritter's probably the third or fourth quarterback in this draft right now.
It looks like he's getting locked into the third right now. Even guys that don't necessarily like him are starting to say he's the third quarterback, which
like you mentioned last week, McShay, or a couple weeks ago, McShay is even. I heard on McShay on the first draft podcast that McShay was not high on him, and now he's pumping him because of who he's talked to, not because he's higher on him now, not because he changed his mind on him. It's because of NFL people that he's talked to.
Yeah, I think McShay had him as the fifth quarterback on the board. Earlier on in the process, and now he's third because they're talking to teams and teams are saying like, we like this guy, and that's what everybody's hearing. So
Kuiper was the one that liked Ritter.
Yep.
All right, cool. So Chad's up 3-2, Mike. What do you think about that?
Oh, did you get that one? I don't even remember now. No, I got it. I said Howell, you dope.
That's what I said.
Baker Mayfield.
That's what I said. Mike's up 3-2, Chad. How you feel about that?
I liked it better before. We should just revert back to.
All right. Well,
you already said it, right? Like now we're just confusing the listeners.
That's all right. They're always confused. They're listening to us.
Yeah, right. That's true.
All right. So, the next one we're going to go with is the teacher's pet. Who is the teacher's pet of this draft? Chad Mendoza.
Who's the teacher's pet? I'm going to go Oh man, I'm gonna go Desmond Ritter on this one.
Okay.
I think Ritter's the teacher's pet because his whole rollout on the kind of guy he is the super mature, has his kid, in a committed relationship, and he's just mature beyond his years, and he's going to come in and step in and be an adult in the whole situation, get along with the teams and be the leader in whatever team he steps into.
All right. Point for Chad. Follow-up question. Who is, and this is going to be a buzz-in. So the first person to get this answer, say your own name, and who is second on this list.
Mike.
Okay.
I'm going to say Kenny Pickett.
Incorrect.
Yeah.
Chad, you got a guess?
I'm gonna say.
This is for the lead.
I'm gonna say Sky Moore.
Sky Moore, no deal. That's a good guess. The answer was Chris Olave. All right, just everyone's kind of darling.
Oh, see, I was gonna say Chris Olave, but I thought we did him
smooth
already.
and sweet.
Maybe
can
we just
do no
guessed him.
wrong. Everything he does is perfect. It's Chris Olave was second,
Okay.
but yeah, you were right in Ritter. Everything you said about Ritter, he just seems like such a stable type of person. And he's just the way he's rising up draft boards that everyone is starting to love him now. I feel like come dynasty drafts, people are going to be all over Ritter.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All tied up.
How many more we got?
We've got 2 to 4 more. Let's see. We've got 2 more because we got 10 minutes left. The next one, Mike, I'm going to give to you. This is the award you won. All right. This is the nice guy / biggest pushover.
Nice guy / biggest push.
I think Chad knows who it is.
I don't, but it's just.
I mean, I've said this many times over the last couple of weeks.
Oh, I know who it is. I know who it is.
Well, I definitely don't. But I'm gonna say Kenny Pickett again.
Okay, you're just gonna say Kenny Pickett every time now.
He's got to win some award, right?
That's incorrect.
Oh man.
Chad, who's the
Drake
biggest
London.
pushover? Drake London?
London.
No,
Is that
come on. Biggest pushover. First, say your name if you know it. Biggest pushover.
Mike.
Yeah.
Are you thinking like Brian Robinson?
No.
Oh,
that guy's
it's
a truck. That guy's a
It's,
dump truck.
Oh, James Cook. Sorry.
no, it's James Cook. Chad gets the points.
Chad gets the point.
Whatever.
Yeah, man. How many times have I said if there's a strong breeze?
Yeah, the wind would blow him over. Yeah, I got you. See, I was thinking Drake London because you said he was big, but he was soft.
Okay. I mean, that's not bad. That's not bad. But no, it's James Cook. I'm so out on him. But tell me why I'm wrong.
No, I mean, yeah.
Okay, well, tell me why do either one of you believe that he can have a role on an NFL team that would lead to be a fantasy contributor?
Yeah, he can be
Of course. Look at Tyreek Cohen.
Yeah. He can be a Hines or Cohen.
Hines or Cohen. I think Tariq Cohen's got contact balance or had before he destroyed that knee.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things like you just need somebody to be shifty, competent wide receiver out of the backfield and who's elusive, and they're still going to be productive in PPR dynasty formats.
All right. I mean, his ceiling might be Curtis Samuel to me. Or Duke Johnson. Like a lot of these guys don't work out.
But that's just because of the offenses that they're in, right? Like if you put Curtis Samuel in the right offense and he's used in that role with his skill set, I mean, there's no reason why he shouldn't be able to produce. It's just you have to find a team that's dedicated enough to your skill set to use you in that way.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, if he was on San Fran, I'd be a lot more confident. And, you know.
Yeah.
I got you. All right, cool. Either you disagree about James Cook.
I mean, I think I'm a bit higher on him than you are, but I think the issues are real.
Right on. All right, so we've got one last question, and Chad gets to go first, so that hurts.
He won the toss in overtime.
If it comes down to a tie, I do have a tiebreaker question. All right, so the next category, Chad, is best dancer. Who's the best dancer in this class? And this is play style. This has nothing to do with the market.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna say. Gosh, I can go so many different ways. This one. I'm gonna say Traylon Burks. You haven't used him yet.
Incorrect.
Okay.
But you can tell me why you thought that.
I mean, just because of his style of play. I mean, you get the ball to him early and just let him shift around and get his yards.
All right. I think there's a shiftier guy out there. Mike?
I think I know this one. I hope I do, and I'm pandering to the judge here, but I think it's going to have to be one of his favorites in Jameson Williams.
Incorrect.
Oh, that's disappointing.
Because I don't see him as a dancer. I mean, he's shifty and he runs great routes and he's fast as hell, but he's not a dancer. Chad, you want to take another guess?
All
right. So before we go to the second round, it's a running back. There's your hint.
Oh, okay.
Is it either of us or is it Chad or?
It's Chad.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Isaiah Spiller.
Incorrect.
What?
He's got good feet, but he doesn't dance like this guy. Mike?
Gosh, I don't know because that was going to be my guess. I mean,
there's one top running back that we haven't talked about.
Well, I know Kenneth Walker.
There you go. Just trying to get a tie so we can get one more question in here.
I just feel like
I mean, have you seen that guy play? He's shifty as hell, man. You get him in an outside zone scheme, and I think he would be really good.
I don't think he's shifty. I don't think he's shiftier than Spiller.
Spiller got a lot of like bell, patience, movement kind of.
Okay, patience, but dancing.
No, I mean,
that's
cut.
That's
patience, see the hole, and then one cut and run.
I think Walker is maybe a better pure runner. I mean, he might be the best pure runner in the class, but I don't think he's shiftier than Spiller. I mean, in my opinion.
Okay. Cool. I mean, that's why we're talking about this, right? So you guys are probably two of the highest I've talked to on Spiller, which is awesome because you both live in A&M country and you can
probably biased.
And neither one of you is really an A&M fan, so I feel like it's like honest analysis. So I like that. You're close to it, but you still have a good lens on it. So, I mean, if we were drafting today, Chad and I have already done a rookie draft, so it does happen. If we were drafting today, who would you guys take, Kenneth Walker or Spiller?
Walker.
Probably Kenneth Walker.
But it's close.
I mean, it all depends on draft capital, and I think Kenneth Walker at this point is probably going to get the draft capital.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, I think Kenneth Walker, I think people are way higher on him than he probably should be. I mean, if he doesn't pass block, like there's going to be a lot of issues with him. Like he's not going to see the field and be a 3-down back. The way people are anticipating him being.
I've heard Jerry Sinclair, who's a huge Michigan State fan, say he's garbage as a pass blocker. But I've also heard Greg Cosell, who I love as an analyst and as a film watcher, he broke it down to the point where almost no one is a good pass blocker coming out of college because they're not asked to do it.
Yeah.
So it's something that you just have to be committed to.
It's just when he did it. When he did it, he looked like he was soft. Like he just looked like he didn't want to do it. Like he was uncomfortable being there. He didn't want to be there. It was a job that was too much for him, which is weird because he runs pretty hard.
Yeah, he does run. He does run violent for his size, but that's the other thing, man. At his size, he's like 5'8", 205 ish. Between 205 and 210. Not a lot of lead backs in the NFL that were that size.
Yeah,
I think Ray Rice was, but not a lot.
Like I said, I like Isaiah Spiller a bit more than Kenneth Walker, but it just sounds like Kenneth Walker is going to get the draft capital at this point.
Right on. Is that you would take Spiller too, Mike? Or no, you said you would take Walker.
Yeah, same reason Chad said.
Okay, right on. Yeah, they both scare me a little, to be honest. I don't. The thing is, I like the tape on Spiller a lot. I like the tape on Walker too, but the size scares me a little, and just the speed, I guess, scares me on Spiller a little. So, it is really going to come down to what NFL teams think about these guys. But that's not the game we're playing. So, we got to figure this shit out right now. Right on. All right, we're tied. We're tied, and we're going to a tie break.
All right.
Give me 1 second to bring it up here. I have it. Okay. Who most likely, and this is going to be a buzz-in. All right. Mm-hmm. So most likely to struggle early in their NFL career. Or
I feel like I'm
most
saying
likely to struggle early in their career.
Oh man. Give us a hint. Are we talking about guys that are projected to go in the first round of rookie?
Yes.
Of like
this is not like a deep cut.
Okay.
Has not won an award yet.
Mike. I'm going to say baby hands Kenny Pickett if he's asked to.
Of course you are.
Rust on him, and he's got to take a starting job somewhere. He'll struggle.
No, I think Kenny Pickett will step right in and be pretty good right away.
Yeah, he has some of the most. He's one of the most experienced quarterbacks in the class, so he should be fine. And he's what they're calling the most pro ready, even though I think that's Desmond Ritter, but what some people are calling the most pro ready.
All right, Chad, you got one guess to win the night, and if not, I do have a second tiebreaker.
Okay, I'm gonna say Treylon Burks.
Boom, and there's the winner. And tell me why.
Because he's gonna need an offense to, again, like we said with Cook, he's gonna need an offense to commit to his skill set. And if he doesn't get that, he's not gonna get the separation on his own. He's not gonna be able to run traditional routes straight out of the book and get the ball rolling himself.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's gonna take the right situation for Treylon Burks, and that might not happen right away. Unfortunately, it might not happen ever. If Treylon Burks goes to Atlanta, I mean, what is the upside there? I don't see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He's the number one wide receiver there. That's it.
Yeah, well, not even, because Pitts is there. So,
you know what I think would be interesting? You know what I think would be interesting is if Atlanta went Matt Corral and went Treylon Burks. They got Matt Corral later and went Treylon Burks early. I think they could be guys that really complement each other in an RPO style offense if they were able to get creative. But,
I do think that Treylon Burks would be good in an RPO system because if you get the ball to him quickly, he can make things happen. That's the type of guy he is.
Yep.
Neat. I like that. That's actually that's really good. Cool. So
Chad wins another one. Yep.
Chad wins the night.
All right.
Right on. And we are at we're at an hour 5 minutes right now. So
perfect.
I think that's a pretty concise podcast that we just threw out there.
Nice.
What do you guys think? Yeah. Are we good here?
Perfect.
Very disciplined. Yeah. An hour and 5 minutes. I'm proud of us.
Right on. Is there anything that we need to throw in at the end here? Is there anything we're missing?
No, I can't wait for this draft to happen because I am kind of borderline sick of talking about these rookies without
right.
Them having landing spots.
Yeah, I think
my
next
leagues are
week,
dead. Yeah.
I think next week we're gonna shift away from rookies and we're gonna go back to off-season NFL moves. I am contemplating a court episode. What do you guys think? Where we put teams on trial for their off-season moves.
Let's do it.
And one of you guys can be the prosecutor, one of you guys can be the defender.
I feel sorry for the defender of the Jaguars, but yeah.
Yeah, I've been itching to break my briefcase out, so let's do it.
All right, nice. All right, I think we just figured it out for next week, guys. We're doing a court episode, which we have not done on Dynasty War Games. We've only done that on the Patreon pods. They got significantly off the rails, those podcasts. So I am going to have.
We just became passionate defenders and prosecutors. Okay, that's all that was.
Well, I think the accent needs some work, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm definitely going to watch My Cousin Vinny before next week.
Mm-hmm.
All right, because I got to get the Southern judge accent down. Right.
We need to order you a gavel off of Amazon too. See if we can find one.
Get the squeaky one that like Michael Scott has for the option. Man, what the hell is this?
Nice. All right, that's gonna be a fun episode. Right on. Right. So, Mike, I just want to say good luck with everything you have going on with your family. I know.
Thank you. Yes,
it's an exciting time for you guys.
Yeah, so for those that don't know, baby number 4 is on its way any day now. So
too many, Mike. That's too many.
Hey, just so you know, I am meeting with the urologist next Friday, and we are going to set up that vasectomy.
So, is that right?
Yeah. So okay. We might celebrate 2 things at the same time.
He's like, this is getting way out of hand.
Congratulations.
Wife said, I'm not doing it. You're doing it. So I was like, all right, I'll get it done.
Reminds me, real quick, funny story. When I was a kid, I was very young, and my brother and sister had been born, and my father spent like 3 or 4 days on the couch and like, out of work. And that is not my father. Never missed a day of work in his life. Right. And he runs a business. You can't. So I was told that our family business was actually, they sold it early this week. He retired. Very congratulations, Dad. Congrats. Yeah. But I was told it's a lumber yard and hardware store. He got hit in the nuts real hard and that he had to rest up. I found out years later, like after college, that was his vasectomy.
That's funny. Yeah. I'm looking forward to that.
Hopefully medical science is advanced and you don't need to spend 3 or 4 days on the couch, Mike.
No, I think it's more or less the same. We have to invite Mike over and just buy a 2x4 and whack him a little bit. A couple of times. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's the same procedure.
Well, I am looking forward to the Army updated their policy on paternity leave. So it was 10 days when I had my last kid. Now it's 21. So
21.
Oh, that's awesome.
Go Army. I'll take that.
Awesome.
So, all right. So when I was in Marriott, they actually do 4 weeks, and you can take them as you want, right? As long as you give notice, like you can take a week here, a week there, 3 days here. Is that how it works?
I don't know if you can split it up, but usually there's like 6 months or a year after the baby's born, you have to take it. So,
okay, cool.
So I'm not doing it until May when school year's out and stuff. But.
Okay, that's great for your wife. That's great for you. Well, great for you and your wife, but great for her that she has your support. Yeah, that's awesome.
Or you could use it during the draft and
go to your house and we'll have a draft party.
Just come hang out for a little bit.
I should do that. I'll have my procedure chat like 3 days before the draft, and I'll just sit on your couch and watch the draft for 3 days while I rest up for my surgery, and then head back.
Nice. All right, so
man.
I'm gonna do something that I always mean to do and always forget and plug us a little. So like and subscribe, please. We are doing this for y'all. We don't get anything out of this but fun. So please like and subscribe if you enjoy what we did here, and leave us a 5-star on Apple or Stitcher and wherever you get your podcast. Please, if you liked it, give us a 5-star and a review if you don't mind. You can find us at DWZ_Wargames on Twitter. We don't post a lot, but I do my best. I was just on Dynasty Game Night last night. Not really our competition, just sort of similar in the market. Really great guys, had a blast. So I tweeted that out. Also, I'm on another podcast. I love you guys, but I do something with Brian Ford called Dynasty Fever, where it's not quite the party atmosphere. We have a lot of experts on, and we try to dig down as deep as we can, really drill down. And Brian does a lot better job at promoting that podcast than I do. He's made a lot of connections, and we get a lot of really interesting people on that. So that's how I met the guys from Dynasty Game Night.
I don't think that was an approved plug.
Brian's Twitter handle is @FF_junkie. So follow him and listen to us on Dynasty Fever. And that is it for the night. Chad wins the night, and we are out of here.
See you
Later.